El Nido, Boracay, Siargao. Those are the few places that first come to mind when traveling the Philippines. But on this trip, I traded the islands for the province. This is Tanay Rizal. This trip begins in Cavite. I took this trip with my cousins and we were accompanied by our Tito Herman who did the driving. It was around a 2.5 hour drive to get from Cavite to Rizal, which wasn't too bad despite the traffic and my cousins mocking the intro to my YouTube videos.
And for today's video, hi guys, so for today's video,
After passing by several little towns, we finally reached the highlands of Rizal. We then stopped at the last checkpoint, which would be one of the last places where we could buy the all-important goods. Alright, so we are here in Tanay Rizal where we're going to be going camping. We kind of just stopped at this cute little stop and I kind of just brought out all of their soju. Like, who would have thought that there's going to be soju in the most random store up in the mountains here in the Philippines? But yeah, pretty good. 85 per bottle. So after buying the actual essentials for the trip, we were then back on the road, which wasn't long before we reached the approaching road to the camp. And we had to cross this sketchy wooden thin bridge before we got to our side of the river, which then we finally reached Camp Agos in Tanay Rizal. The first thing we did was unpack all of our belongings from the car. And before we actually took a proper look around camp, we of course had to have a quick Filipino lunch first. We actually found a camp 3 days before the trip, so it was very last minute and it cost me around £200 for one night, but it could fit up to 15 people. There were 2 tents available, there was a swinging bed on the ground floor, there were also hammocks and mattresses on the top floor which could fit up to 10 people, which pretty much we all stayed up there.
This fresh water? Fresh water? Spring water.
From the mountain.
If we're going hiking.
We're not going hiking. We're not going hiking. That would kill me. Alright, so here we are at Camp Agos. We are at the butterfly house. It's our resident dog. Whose dog is that? It's a guard dog bit here. It's here. It's really nice. It's a 2-story hut. Uber, you've got Mark over there, chilling. Cage in the swing.
Dito, paano ka tumapak? Paano ka tumapak?
There's the Yaya.
what the heck?
Chica over there. The doggy. Kanina yan?
What's up? So guys, we're here for today's video. Welcome video for today's vlog.
BBM.
After some light relaxing and basking in the sun after lunch, I decided to be the first person from the group to go test out the waters.
It couldn't see me anymore.
Yes,
Was it fine?
Okay, so I was the first one to take a dip in the river. It's pretty nice. It's actually really warm actually. It's almost like a hot tub, I guess, because that's either from the hot ass sun or a lot of people are peeing upstream. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go back now. Kind of scary bringing this camera here, just in case it gets wet, because this is a 5K piece of equipment. When I got back to camp, everyone wanted to do some swimming, and I stayed behind to watch everyone's belongings, which also gave me a chance to shoot some really cool B-roll of the place. So it is around sunset right now, so I'm just kind of waiting for like good golden hour session. But yeah, really nice. Mate, this is literally one of the best things ever. It's such a unique thing, you know, because everyone normally goes to like Palawan or Coron, but no one ever thought to just stay in somewhere. And it's really good. It's just so super peaceful here. Don't know if you can hear it, but it's pretty much just crickets, roosters, dogs, occasional sound of people. But yeah, everyone's gone swimming right now, but obviously because someone's got to watch the kubot, I'm here. But that ain't a bad deal because we chilling. Baka nalaglag yung unang pumunta. As it was approaching blue hour towards sunset, I went for another stroll just to take in some more of the sights and take a dip in the river. The river here was just so refreshing. It was nice and clean, it was clear, and to be honest with you, it was kind of more pleasant than being at a beach because you don't have to deal with the sand and all of the salt water that you get with beaches. So yeah, this is definitely a good alternative to places like Boracay and Palawan. So it is around blue hour now. Sunset's just finished, so it's pretty cool around this hour, clearly. But yeah, oh, there's like little dogs running around. Oh shit, you got shit. For dinner we had a barbecue, so we fried some fish, we had some meat, and yeah, it was all a good time along with some drinking. Sabi ko kay kuya, kay. Lagay na yung siyadak niyo.
Na-murder na yung ano.
Do you want beer with oil?
Doing soju shots. Alright.
Ako, hindi na fake. Magagalit na ako. Paolo!
Yeah, so it's kind of like golden hour right now, around the sunset time. Really, really good food. The stay also came with a bonfire kit, so we set that up, and of course we brought along our own marshmallows and just roasted it.
Hindi ko mahabaan.
Iba na nakakali pa ako eh.
Sunugin ng akin marshmallow.
Sunog yan.
Oh!
Down it, down it.
Oh God. What the fuck? Oh my God! Oh, keep yung cup nyo.
First time.
Keep that, keep that, keep that.
After being fully staffed with food and alcohol, I kind of had a bright idea to fulfill one of my bucket list items, and that was skinny dipping. Alright, so there's one thing I've always wanted to do, and now's the chance to do it because we've had a couple of drinks, and it's super dark, and there's a river right there, so I'm gonna be going skinny dipping. After more food and alcohol and strolling around the surrounding area, we decided to call it a night, and I slept upstairs in a hammock, which was actually surprisingly really comfy to sleep in. The next morning, I woke up in the most peaceful way ever. I woke up to the soft light of the countryside sun and the sound of calmness. The air was cold and brisk, but it felt really comforting and cozy underneath your hoodie, and it also meant I didn't get any bug bites. Oh, so it's like 6 a.m. and I'm so tempted to just jump in the water. You wanna go with me? Things we do for content. My camera is here in the river with me, and I'm kind of shitting myself because I'm kind of scared I might drop it. But mate, look at this shot. After taking a morning dip and embracing nature first thing in the morning, a few of us went for a walk and went to go get some stuff for breakfast like coffee while waiting for everyone to slowly wake up. Can't believe it's 6 AM and I am doing that for content, so YouTube. Back at camp with everyone finally awake, we refueled ourselves with food before we made most of the day just swimming and basking in the sun before we had to check out and leave this beautiful place. It's a prank! Chicken yung ano natin ang isa. Paano kung magbubuhat? Wala na. TANAY RIZAL, so underrated. Like, you never, like most people when they saw this on my story, they were like, where the fuck in the Philippines is that? Because, you know, it's such a like low-key thing. And I think I read an Airbnb that they only just opened up during the pandemic. That's probably why there's not much tourists here, not enough huts. But it's probably a good time to go now before this whole place starts getting filled up with like campsites and huts and that. Because right now it is like the perfect amount of people.
And never right back. Got my like